I met Eliza at a bookstore. That's already creepy, right? In an age of swipes and dating apps, she was just there, standing by the horror section, fingers brushing the spines of Stephen King and Shirley Jackson like they were old friends. She looked at me first. I wouldn't start with that one, she said, gesturing to the paperback I'd picked up, Pet Sematary, ironically. Why not? It's about things coming back wrong. There was a slight smile playing on her lips. I couldn't tell if she was flirting or warning me. We talked for an hour. I offered coffee. She said yes. I didn't know then that she didn't drink coffee. She didn't drink anything, really. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our relationship moved quickly, but naturally. Eliza was magnetic. She didn't talk much about her past, but when she did, it was always laced with poetry. My hometown was swallowed by the sea. That sort of thing. I took it as metaphor. She never let me take her picture. No selfies, no group photos, no Snapchats. She'd laugh and say, I'm not photogenic. When I tried to sneak a shot once during brunch, the screen came up black. Just black. Must be the lighting, she said. I didn't push it. We moved in together after 4 months. Too fast, I know, but I was obsessed. Obsessed like a moth circling a lamp, even if the bulb was starting to flicker. The first truly strange thing happened with the mirror. I was brushing my teeth. Steam clung to the bathroom glass. I noticed something. Eliza stood behind me. Only, I didn't see her reflection. I froze, foam collecting at the edge of my lips. Eliza? I asked. She leaned in, close to my ear. What's wrong? You're not. Your reflection isn't there. She laughed softly, the way someone might laugh if you pointed out a ketchup stain on their shirt. Mirrors are old. Warped. You know that. They lie. Then she kissed my cheek and walked away. When I turned to follow her, she was gone. The hallway was empty. No creak of floorboards. No sound of a door. I didn't sleep that night. I told myself I was overtired. Maybe I imagined it. But that was only the beginning. A week later, I installed a new mirror. A modern one. No antique glass. Crystal clear. While she was out, I tested it. My own face stared back at me. Tired, unshaven, eyes ringed with worry. Then I stepped aside. Waited. Nothing. When Eliza returned, I pretended everything was normal. But I kept watching. Not directly. I set up a mirror near the entryway, angled just right. Every time she came home, I checked. She never appeared in it. Never once. So I did what any rational person would do. I Googled it. No reflection syndrome. Psychological mirror avoidance. Camera blindness. Nothing explained it. Not really. Until I found a forum. A dark, old forum tucked away on the internet like an attic no one wanted to clean. Thread title: People Who Shouldn't Exist. Most of it was conspiracy junk. Doppelgangers. Mirror folk. Phantom doubles. But one post stuck with me. If someone you love doesn't cast a reflection, run. They don't belong in this world. And if you stay, they'll make sure you don't either. I shut my laptop and sat in the dark for a long time. That night, Eliza crawled into bed beside me. Her skin was cold. I asked her, "Where did you go today?" She smiled against my neck. "I went to the river." "There's no river near here." "I didn't say it was your river." I didn't sleep again. In the morning, I noticed something strange. The mirror in the hallway, the one I'd used to test her, was shattered. Cleanly, evenly, in 7 perfect cracks. And written in condensation on the bathroom mirror, above the sink, were the words, "Stop looking." I didn't bring up the mirror. I wanted to. God. I wanted to scream at her, to demand answers, to ask why she'd written "stop looking" like a threat carved in fog. But I didn't. Because Eliza was different after that night. Not colder, warmer, almost unnaturally affectionate. She made me breakfast. She danced barefoot in the living room. She sang to herself in a language I didn't recognize. Something about the way she moved made me feel like I'd dreamed the mirror incident. Or worse, that she was making me feel like I had. One morning, she said, "Do you know why mirrors lie?" I looked up from my coffee. Why? They only show one world. The one we prefer to see. She let the silence sit between us for a beat. But there are others. I didn't ask what she meant. I started having dreams. In the first one, I was standing in front of a mirror, but my reflection wouldn't mimic me. It blinked when I didn't, smiled when I frowned. And then it lifted its hand and started tapping on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. Each tap echoed, louder than it should have, until the last one shattered the glass from the inside out, and the thing that looked like me stepped through. In another dream, I woke up tied to our bed, and Eliza stood over me, eyes completely black, whispering, "You need to stop digging." The worst part? I wasn't scared. I felt calm, like I deserved it. During the day, I started noticing other things. Tiny details that made my stomach churn, like how Eliza's phone was always off. No calls, no texts. She never charged it. I asked once why she even had it. She said, to keep up appearances. Once, while I was doing laundry, I found a single tag inside one of her shirts. No brand, no size, just a stitched red spiral. Another time, I caught her humming a song that hadn't existed for years. And one night, one very specific, awful night, I found her sitting in the dark kitchen at 3:17 a.m., talking softly to a small, handheld mirror. Not looking into it, talking to it. I stood in the hallway, watching. "Eliza," I asked. She didn't move. I flicked the light on, and she flinched, dropped the mirror, and hissed like an animal. For just a second, I swear her skin looked stretched, thin, like something underneath was trying to get out. Then she blinked, smiled, and said, "You shouldn't sneak up on people." She kissed me. Her lips were freezing. The next day, she left for a walk. I waited 10 minutes, grabbed my phone, and opened every photo I'd ever taken of her. Nothing. Just dark voids where she should have been. In one, the glass of a restaurant window showed me dining alone. In another, our vacation to Maine, it looked like I was holding no one's hand. I called my friend Lucas. "Hey, you've met Eliza, right?" Silence. "Who?" "Eliza. My girlfriend. She came with me to your birthday." "Man, you came alone. Are you okay?" I hung up. My hands were shaking. I opened our bedroom closet. Inside, her clothes were neatly folded, too neatly, like they'd never been worn. The shoes were pristine, dustless, tags still on one pair. There were no IDs, no personal journals, no scent on her pillow, and there was one box tucked far in the back. Inside, a mirror, oval, antique, cracked spider web through the center. I picked it up and screamed, because in the reflection, I wasn't alone. Eliza stood behind me, smiling, even though I knew she wasn't in the room. Then her mouth moved. No sound, just mouthing something over and over. "You're almost ready." I called out her name. No response. I checked every room of the apartment, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. No trace of her. And yet, the mirror showed her. Smiling. Waiting. I wrapped it in a towel, shoved it into the back of my closet, and closed the door. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Eliza was in the kitchen like nothing had happened. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked, cracking an egg with one hand. I don't remember," I lied. She kissed my forehead. Her lips were warm this time. Too warm. Like they were pretending to be human. I watched her pour coffee into a cup, and then walk away without drinking it. The cup sat steaming on the table, untouched. I needed to talk to someone. Not Lucas. He already thought I was cracking. I posted in that old forum, the one with the thread titled "People Who Shouldn't Exist." I wrote, "My girlfriend has no reflection, no photos, no ID, no past, and I think she's changing me." I got one reply, just one, from user SCL47. "You're not paranoid. You're in danger. Find the room. Every city has one. It's where they make the copies." That was it. No explanation, no follow-up, but I couldn't get it out of my head. A few days later, Eliza said she was going to visit her sister. She never mentioned a sister before. I nodded like it was normal. As soon as she left, I followed her. She didn't go to a house, or a bus station, or a car. She walked into a parking garage, then kept walking, all the way to the back, past the security gate, into a service corridor marked electrical. I waited 5 minutes. Then I followed. The hallway was cold, dusty, industrial. And then I found it. A door, unmarked, old wood, and behind it, a room. Not a big one, maybe the size of a single apartment. And inside were mirrors, hundreds, floor to ceiling. Some were broken, some covered in black cloth, some turned to face the wall. In the center of the room stood a chair, and in it sat me. Not a mirror, not a trick. A second me, dressed differently, skin a little grayer, a small spiral-shaped scar on his forehead. He looked up when I entered, smiled. "I was wondering when you'd show up," he said. I backed away, but the door had closed behind me. I heard footsteps. Eliza entered. Only, her eyes weren't brown anymore. They were pale and silver, like old coins. You should have stayed asleep, she said. I turned back to the other me. What is this? What are you? He stood up. We're the echo. The second skin. The part of the world that corrects mistakes. Then they both spoke at once in perfect harmony. And you were a mistake. I ran. I don't know how I made it out. I slammed into the mirror walls. My hands bled. My chest burned. But somehow I escaped. The next thing I remember is waking up in my own bed. Alone. It was daylight. Eliza was gone. No note. No sign. I thought maybe it was a dream. Until I went into the bathroom. And the mirror was gone. Not broken, gone. Just a blank wall, clean and smooth, as if it had never been there. I left the apartment that day. I didn't pack a bag. I didn't lock the door. I just walked. For hours. Until the city blurred into itself. Lights, windows, people I didn't recognize, all staring past me like I wasn't really there. Maybe I wasn't. I booked a cheap motel under a fake name. The kind with a flickering sign and vending machines that sell expired gum. The kind of place no one asks questions. I covered the mirror with a bedsheet, then added a second layer. Still, I felt it behind the cloth. Watching. Buzzing in my spine. That night, I dreamed again. But this time, it was different. I was underwater. A dark lake, perfectly still. Floating across from me, Eliza. She wasn't moving. Her hair drifted like seaweed. Her mouth opened wide, wider than humanly possible, and a third version of me crawled out of it. This one was smiling. I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat. The mirror cover had fallen off, and written in condensation on the glass again, even though the room was cold and dry, were the words. You're almost done. I needed help. Real help. I found a guy online. Private investigator. Ex-cop. He called himself Darnell. He met me at a diner. He looked like a man who'd seen too much or not enough. Wore sunglasses inside. Didn't smile once. You're not the first to see someone without a reflection, he said, sipping burnt coffee. We call them shimmers. Shimmers. They take your face. Your habits. Your love. And if you let him, they take your place. I almost laughed. Almost. Until he pulled out a thick folder. Inside were dozens of photos, couples, friends, roommates, and always, in the reflections, only one person. I've been tracking them for years, he said. They don't like it. I asked what I should do. He told me about the pivot room. It's like a reset point, he said. Every shimmer leaves an anchor. A place they return to when they're weak. Burn it. Break it. Or step through and end it on the other side. I asked him where mine was. He just looked at me. You already found it, didn't you? The mirror room. The copying room. I went back. To the garage. To the corridor. To the door. It was still there. This time, it opened without resistance. The mirrors were different now. They all faced inward. Toward the center. And in that center stood Eliza. Or what wore her skin. She smiled. You came back. Good. I held up a hammer. I came to end it. Her eyes glimmered like mercury. Then finish it. She stepped aside. And there, tied to the chair was me. Not a copy. Not a fake. Me. Same clothes I wore the day I moved in with Eliza. Blood on the shirt. Eyes wide. He whispered, please, don't trust her. I turned to Eliza. What is this? You were the first. The purest reflection. But too aware. She tilted her head. We needed you, quieter. She snapped her fingers. And every mirror in the room lit up, each showing a version of me. Some screaming. Some smiling. Some missing their eyes. Eliza stepped forward. Choose. Smash the wrong one. And you're free. I held the hammer. And I chose. I don't remember the blow. Just the sound of glass. Then black. Then silence. When I woke up, I was outside. Daylight. Breathing. Alone. I told myself it was over. That I had broken the mirror, escaped the room, shattered the cycle. I moved into a new apartment on the other side of the city. Changed my name. Switched my phone. Deleted everything connected to Eliza, or whatever she was. Weeks passed. Then a month. No dreams. No signs. Just peace. Until last night. I was brushing my teeth before bed. New place. New mirror. Bright light overhead. And I saw something strange. It wasn't that I didn't have a reflection. I did. That was the problem. It looked too perfect. No blink delay. No micro expressions. My reflection smiled before I did. I froze. My hand trembled. I raised my left hand. So did he. Then he winked. And I didn't. I smashed the mirror. Sat in the tub for hours, shivering. The police didn't come. The neighbors didn't knock. No one heard it. Or maybe they did and stayed away. I checked my phone. There was a message from an unknown number. It read, "You chose wrong." Things spiraled quickly. Every screen, every shiny surface, I began to catch glimpses of movement that didn't match mine. A shoulder turning slightly too slow. A smile that lingered too long. I taped over the microwave. Removed the TV. But reflections, they find their way back. In puddles. In windows. In the eyes of strangers. I called Darnell. Number disconnected. I searched the forum again, but it was gone. Not a dead link. Just wiped. As if it never existed. Like they knew I'd reached the end of the trail. And they didn't like loose ends. I started seeing Eliza again. Not in person. Never that direct. But in the corners of shop windows. Sitting on buses that passed too fast to chase. Reflected in the back of spoons and diners I'd never been to. Always watching. Always smiling. And once, outside my building, I saw a woman in a long coat look at me, then walk directly into traffic without flinching. When I ran out to find her, she was gone. But her reflection in a storefront window stayed behind. And it turned a wave. I write this now from a cabin I rented in the mountains. There's no electricity. No mirrors. No glass. Only candles. Only wood. Only silence. But tonight, I looked into the dark window, just blackness outside, and I saw a face that wasn't mine. Not anymore. It looked tired. Pale. Hollow-eyed. Like something was wearing my skin from the inside out. It smiled. And said, "Almost done. If you're reading this, really reading, then do yourself one favor. Don't trust what you see in the mirror. Especially if it looks like you. Because sometimes you're the copy. And you were never supposed to get out."